Hello, Leglove here, and we're back today on F1 2020, and we're here for FOCC XRL Round 5 at Silverstone in Britain, and we're out in qualifying right now on the medium tire. Raiden is back after not being able to make it for the last two races, but as we're on our outlap here, we're going to shortly skip over to around halfway through this lap, our flying lap. Heading into Cops, we go a little bit wide and end up invalidating that run, so we have to back out of that one, and we immediately go onto the soft tires to start, or to finish this lap here. And it was a very cautious lap as we were just trying to get a lap in. It's a 1:25.2, which is around a second slower than my personal best, so there's definitely a lot more time in it. As we're heading on to our final lap now, preparing to start the lap here, take an extra wide line out of Vale into Club, get on throttle as soon as possible, take a wide line to set yourself up for the straight, heading into turn 1, easy flat, so just focus on minimizing the amount of speed that you lose through turns 1 and 2. Turn 3, brake as late as possible, and set yourself up for turn 4, where you barely brake at all. And then short shift into third and focus on the traction, heading out onto the DRS straight. And as we head into this next corner, braking on the curb just after the 50-meter board, purple first sector. Heading into here, the line is naturally going to be tighter on entry, so you want to focus on the exit by having a cutback line. Stay tight through Woodcut as we head into Cops. Start on the curb for a wide entry, easy flat, so just focus on minimizing how much speed you lose through there. Into Maggots, easy flat, so use the curb. Beckett's, slight dab of the brakes, and then Chapel is easy to run wide, stay tight to the left for better exit. And now we're getting a good slipstream from Triple G up ahead, but as we head into Stowe, we kind of get a little bit of traffic on our lap, and we end up losing all of the time that we gained on that lap. So it's only going to be a marginal improvement by, let's see how much, it's going to be around just over half a tenth. It's a 25-2, just a marginal improvement. But you can see the results here, and we do end up getting pole anyway, and you can see all of the results, and shocker, 4 drivers starting from the back of the grid. So that's going to be something to watch as we look at the race director here. A couple of people starting on the mediums in the top 10, so they might be someone to watch in this race as we start off our formation lap and head shortly to the grid in this race here. Raiden lines up alongside us. He hasn't been in a race since Zandvoort, so let's see what he can do in this race. As the lights come on, 3, 4, 5 red lights. It's lights out and let's go racing. And we get a pretty poor start, and Aiden's already alongside us into turn 1, but we come back at him into turn 2 and into turn 3. He's gonna make a dive bomb on us. He's gonna go a little bit deep. We make slight contact and he spun himself round. Yellow flags in the back. Someone's all the way back at turn 2 as we exit turn 5, and the safety car has been deployed in this race here. And yeah, Aiden made slight contact with us on the race start. There was a couple guys who tangled at turn 1, and the safety car ended up coming up. And you might have seen that just like in Austria, we immediately confirmed to change onto the medium tire, because we learned from Austria that the mediums can easily go to the end. So we dive into the pit lane now, and we're going to make sure we don't speed into the pit lane, take it nice and easy. And you're about to see that Aiden, he did spin round at turn 3, but he's going to end up right with us towards the back of this field, since we're both going to make our pit stops in this race. So we make our pit stop now. It's a 2.6 second pit stop. Luckily we don't get held in the pits by any traffic. Aiden, you can see, has a 5-second penalty. He's going to serve that in his pit stop, but he won't lose any time here because we are under safety car and we'll all just catch up to the pack once again. Speaking of the back of the pack is just exiting turn 4 as we cut on to the end of lap 3. This is the safety car restart then, and whoa, we get brake checked by Giovinazzi. Both me and Aiden have to avoid him. We were trying to get better starts than each other, but we kind of had to compromise our starts. But my start is even more compromised as we get a massive amount of oversteer. And Aiden has the slipstream. He's going to have a look down the inside at turn 1, but he's going to think better of it. And into turn 3, he's not going to be close enough to make a move here. So we're going to cover off the inside line a little bit to make sure he doesn't make a move into turn 4. Now exiting turn 4, activating the overtake, we have 100% ERS. We're going to use the slipstream from Giovinazzi, and we're going to move to the right side of the track. We're going to go around the outside, purple sector 1, and Magnussen ahead has a 5-second time penalty, so he probably collided with someone at the race start. Aiden follows us through with that move on Giovinazzi, so he's still right behind us, 2/10 through Woodcut, and he's going to have a look down the inside at Stowe, so we're going to have to go side by side. It's very awkward going side by side through cops, so we have to go wide, and Aiden has a look down the inside through just before Maggots, but he isn't able to make the move stick. So, but we go massively wide at Chapel, and we get a terrible exit. So we have to use a lot of our battery, but it doesn't seem like Aiden's going to attack us down the hanger straight. Into Stowe, we have a look around the outside of Magnussen, but we can't get the move done. We're going to have a look down the inside. We're going to move to the outside under braking, nearly collide with Aiden. Luckily, we keep it clean. We're trying to get a better exit than Magnussen and get ahead of him as possible. Aiden's trying to do the same with us. As soon as possible is when we need to get past Magnussen, but we're not able to do it into turn 1. We get brake checked into turn 1. We have to lift off and downshift into 7th, and now we make a huge dive bomb into turn 3. And we're going to go around the outside of turn 4, and we're going to carry enough speed to get the better exit into turn 5. We don't have the DRS on this occasion because this DRS has still not been enabled after that safety car restart, but we're right behind Sainz, and we're gonna have a look around the outside of him through Brooklyn, I think this corner is called, and heading through Woodcut. We're still side by side. We have the slipstream from Albon ahead, and we're gonna head into Cops, and I said earlier that this corner is very awkward to go side by side through, so we have to go wide and concede the position on that occasion. As we head through Maggots and then into Beckett's, we're still very close to Sainz, but we've gone wide because of the dirty area. It's very difficult to follow a car through there, but yet we still get the better exit. But Aiden is right behind us. He's going to make it 3 wide, heading into Stowe. We have the slipstream from Albon, 3 wide, and it's Sainz. We've made contact with Sainz, and Sainz has been spun round. We get a warning. We're going to have a look down the inside of Albon, and we can't get the move on Ricciardo, but we get it on Albon. We're around the outside of Club. We get the better exit. Aiden can't follow through on the move at this stage. The DRS has been enabled as we head down into turn 1. We have the slipstream from Ricciardo. We're going to use the overtake, and we're looking for a big dive bomb on the dive bomb master himself, and we get it done. Or do we? As we're still side by side through turn 4, and we go around the outside just like we did on Magnussen on the previous lap, and we get the DRS, which is perfect for us because we now have a car in between myself and Aiden, who is just over a second behind us at this stage. But up ahead, we have Red Rex P10 on the soft tire. Everyone ahead of us is still yet to make a pit stop as there's yellow flags. Someone spun off, I think. Through into Cops then. We keep it flat. I thought we would need to do a slight lift due to the dirty air, but no. We do manage to stay on track completely flat out. As we are heading through Beckett's and then through Chapel, we get such a better exit than Red Rex because Red Rex ends up clipping the grass, which is very easy to do at that corner exit. And we're going to have a look down the inside at Stowe, and we get the move done quickly and smoothly here, and we minimize the time loss. And now we have another car in between myself and but Red Rex has a look down the inside of us, and we have to kind of turn out of the corner to avoid a collision. But as I was saying, we now have a car in between ourselves and Aiden once again as we head on to lap 7, turn 2 into turn 3, late braking as I said in qualifying, set yourself up for turn 4. But Aiden has now made the move on Red Rex, and he is now, well, he will have the DRS since he was in Red Rex's DRS range at the detection point. So he will still be able to hang on, as the DRS is a massive advantage, especially around such a high-speed track like Silverstone. We set a purple first sector. The gap to Aiden is 1.2 seconds. Throne Globe up ahead has just gotten himself a 3-second time penalty, and we are 2.9 seconds behind him at this stage. And as I said earlier, everyone up ahead is still yet to make a pit stop as we get our second warning in this race. So we're going to have to keep it clean for the rest of this race here, or we will get a penalty. As we head out of Chapel, we weren't able to get the DRS, but we're within a second going down the Hangar Straight. We've pulled out to 1.8 seconds to Aiden is rated in P11 now. And the Throne Globe goes wide, but the VSC has been deployed. There's a McLaren going slowly on the track map, you can see, exiting Chapel onto the Hangar Straight now. And we're going to use this VSC not only to save tires, but to close the gap to Throne Globe as much as possible and get his DRS on the restart of this VSC. Because if you do time the delta right, you can really catch your opponents off guard in these league races. As the VSC is ending now, quite a short virtual safety car. So we're going to see if we can catch Throne Globe off guard, and he's had to slow down massively. Clearly he's not timed the delta right, and we're now just 4 tenths behind him. We're going to have the DRS, because the DRS immediately gets enabled once a VSC ends. So we're now heading into Brooklyn. We're very close to Throne Globe. 3 tenths, 4 tenths is the gap, 5 tenths. So he's clearly using a lot of the battery power here to pull away on the acceleration of that corner. Into Cops, we're probably going to have to lift. Yes, we do, because of the dirty air. There's no way it will be flat out. As we head into the S's, through Maggots, through Beckett's, it's very hard to follow through this sequence of corners, like I said earlier. But Throne Globe gets the exit very wrong, just like Red Rex did out of Chapel, and we get the move done on him even earlier on the Hangar Straight than we did on Red Rex into Stowe. And now the gap to our teammate, well, that's not important anymore because he goes into the pit lane. But the gap ahead, we can't see it right now because quite a few people are in the pit lane. So let's see where we're going to come out on the position board with all these people in the pits. And we are P3 as we set a purple sector 3. The gap to Gasly ahead, who has a 5-second time penalty, is 1.5 seconds. And ahead of him is Triple G, who we are closing the gap to quite quickly, 1.8 seconds now. Both of these guys ahead are yet to make a pit stop in this race. So we're already within 2 seconds of the race lead, and we're a pit stop ahead of the leader. So this is a great position for us at this stage, because we are going to have the DRS from Gasly at this stage, as we're right on the back of him. 3 tenths is the gap to Gasly now. And as we head down into Cops, we're surely going to have to lift. We do even more than what we did when we were following Throne Globe. And as we pass the detection point, the gap is 5 tenths. So we will have the DRS. As we head into Chapel, we go a little bit wide because of the dirty air, but we do get a decent exit out of here. And we're going to have the slipstream. We're not going to use any battery. We've managed the battery quite well as we go down the inside of Gasly, and we get the move done smoothly as Triple G dives into the pits, and so does Gasly there. So we are now leading this race. Aiden, though, is still 5 tenths behind us, so the fight for this win is not over as he sets the fastest lap, which is another 2 tenths faster than what we just did on that lap. As we head into turn 3 now, me and Aiden, well, I was about to say we're the fastest cars on track, but Kimmy just goes faster by 1 tenth on the soft compound of tire. He did take the alternate strategy, but I don't think he will be close enough for the fight to be involved in the fight for the win here, because he is 11 seconds behind and we've got another 3 laps after this one. So it's just going to be me and Aiden battling for the win here as we head through Woodcut. We're using our ERS. We've managed it quite well, 62% on lap 10, so we've got plenty to defend with if Aiden does decide to go for a move. 9/10 as we pass the detection point, but he will just about have the DRS to pull himself along down the hangar straight. We're pushing our hardest through Chapel on the exit using the battery power. The gap is 8/10 and it's going to go down a lot down this hangar straight because of the DRS. 7/10 now. It nearly went down to 6/10 as we exit Stowe into the Vale chicane, and soon after that will be the club exit there. And we're going to exit club now onto the Hamilton straight, and the gap is 8/10 as we set a fastest lap, which is 2/10 faster than what Kimi did on the soft and 5/10 faster than our previous lap. So we are the fastest car on track at this stage. We're 2/10 faster than what Kimi did previously, as I just said. Bulldozer now up into P5 with, he does have a 3-second time penalty, as Aiden just gets a 3-second time penalty. Must have gone wide at turn 5, I would assume. So this is a massive turning point in our race here, because Aiden might be out of contention for the win due to that penalty. But we're going to have to see here, as we're only on lap 11. Still, or I say only, well, there's 2 laps to go, 3 laps including this one, but still a lot can happen in this race, as Aiden is still half a second behind us as we head into Beckett's and then into Chapel. He's going to have the DRS, but look at the gap, it's gone up so much. Surely Aiden has made a mistake through the S's, so that with just 2 laps to go after this one, I think the win is in the bag here. I'm not sure what happened. Aiden may have gotten an oversteer or a half spin, but he did lose a lot of time through the S's, and we're going to shortly cut onto the end of lap 13 here. We raised the gap even more after Aiden ended up making that mistake. Nothing else really happened in this race. The position order didn't change too much, even outside of the top 5. So we're going to exit club now. The checkered flag waves, and we claim our 4th win out of 5 races in this season. Aiden with P2 after being absent for 2 races comes back strong with a podium. Triple G driver of the day, and Kimi getting P3 on the alternate strategy. So great race overall from all 3 of these podium guys, including myself. As you can see, the podium celebrations right here. I'm definitely very happy with that result, as we ended up keeping it clean, not getting any penalties. I was feeling quite good going into Silverstone, and I feel like I reflected that with the race result today, so I'm very happy with that. As you can see, the race results here. Our teammate finishes P10 with just 1 point, and everyone ended up finishing the race except Alpon's AI. So that's going to be it for this video. If you did enjoy, make sure to like and subscribe. I post F1 content Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, so make sure to stay tuned for 3 videos per week. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.